Well, folks, before we start fishing, I'm here to recommend 1xBet, which is a platform for sports betting, games, and online casino, where by using the promotional code on your first deposit, you'll get a 120% reload bonus. In the first pinned comment, you'll find the link and also the details so you can register. Be of legal age and play responsibly.
All right, folks, we're about to start a new fishing trip. There's Guido. It's his first time coming to this place. Obviously, he's a bit quiet for obvious reasons. Since he hasn't been here before, he's a bit wary. And look, well, I'm going to start with a Korean rig. We're going to use chicken gut. Then we brought a cast net that we're going to be setting up to see where we can make a throw to get some bait. Let's see what we're going to catch with that. So, well, the first thing we're going to do is throw this gear. Then I have this one here and I'll see what I can throw it with. So in a moment, we'll show you how we start fishing. All right, look, this is how it looks. Now, I've already shown some of you, but just in case someone hadn't seen it. This way, I also usually use the Korean line from Cosa Nuestra. Well, we just cast the rods, and now we're here with Guido, where we have some shelter. We're going to prepare a grilled cake with some mate. We brought charcoal since firewood is unavailable here. And well, look, we have the river right next to us, so it would also be nice to cast here with the Nataraz. Let's try to catch some little fish, moharitas. But well, it's incredible. The shelter we have here, very nice. Let's switch sides. Well, I came back because I had forgotten the grill. I think we have Pekin on this team. That one's a little yellow card, but okay, hold on. To start off, that little yellow card is pretty greedy. Look at that bait, just look at it. Well, there I made a kind of base with the bigger pieces of charcoal. Then I use the same cardboard bag. And let's see if we can get the coals going this way. And once they get going, we put the grill on this side and then we put the cake on top. Well, a little log caught fire too. Well, look how it turned out. We're already cleaning the grill. We just had the first bite, a boa, a little yellow one. Once we're ready with these, we heat up the mate. We're here. You can't feel the wind here, but there's quite a bit of wind. So, well, about the cast net, we were evaluating because one thing is we've never thrown it before, let's say. And another thing is that we're having a hard time here. So in a bit, we'll look for the best spot to throw it and see what happens. The first one's out. It's really hot. We were in trouble with nowhere to put the grill, but now we'll make the mates soon. Well, we were eating and I noticed I had some bites on my rod, so there really is something here. Possibly a mancholo. Because this is still pulling? It crossed all the way to the other side. Did it get caught on the rod here, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah, can you believe it? Yeah, it tangled with your rod. Come here. Does it have to be a mancholo or boga based on how it pulls? I don't think it's either of them, Guido. Incredible. There are about 3 fish on the line. A boga and 2 yellow ones on the line. Incredible. These lines are impressively effective. It's unbelievable. Look, incredible. Look. And the other one. The other yellow one is down there. Impressive. Well, second catch. All right. I remind you that all the gear we use can also be won in the giveaways we have in our WhatsApp group. So if you have any questions, let us know. And check the description where it says giveaway group, and you can join there. Well, here we were with Ricky taking the first throws with the cast net, which, well, clearly didn't work out for us. And here he managed to make a throw. And look, impressive, the little abalones right here. You can see they're pretty frozen too, because they don't even move. Great throw, great throw, great throw. Much deeper there. Let's see if something comes. 1, 2, 3. Well, we just arrived at the place. And in my case, I'm going to prepare the first little line that I set up before coming, which is just a sliding sinker, a steel leader, and a hook. Isn't it to change things up a little more? Check this out. So, well, let's see how it goes with the little sablo that Ricky caught there with the cast net. This is really, really fresh. When we got to the spot, we kind of doubted there would be any little sabelos. because there wasn't any movement in the water. But it was mostly because of how cold it is. The first cold spells are hitting, and that affects things. The fish aren't moving much. Does that slow them down? So we cast anyway. All right, little team, ready? Here we go. All right, I'm going to cut a sabalo, a medium-sized one, to put on the Korean-style grill. All right, Korean-style line and a fresh tongerel from the little sabalo. Let's get some fresh moyorita. Ricky just caught the first one. Because for now, it's a bit slow. The bite, we don't know if it's because of the temperature change, the cold. But you have to look for the bite. Well, we started with my friend here who was getting the mate ready. We didn't even get to drink the first one, and as you know, when you start eating something, it seems like it all begins. So, all right, we're bringing the very first one of the morning with Worm. He had cast, and there had been some nice bites, and he waited for it, because after that, nothing. And did he, let's see, a nice little mancholito, nice. Yes, he was. Oh, look how cute. Mancholazo, well done. Look at the bug I found. This cockroach is even uglier. Well, I told you that with the tongerel, it was for the yellow one, right? Didn't I tell you? Good one there, Amarelazo. Well, I'm going to have to switch to the red one. Look at them. The worms he brought are impressive. Look at these worms, wow. Let's see if switching to the red one breaks the streak. And something starts to bite. For now, I got bites with a worm, which was the mancholo, and the yellow one with the little sabalito belly. Actually, I have a rod with sabalito belly that I showed you first, and the other one I cast was sabalito, then we changed the bait, but nothing. So, well, now what I'm going to do is set up the gear with belly. I'm going to add the worms. I'm not going to remove the belly. I'm going to add it. Here's the team. A very cool morning. I don't know how it is where you are, but here the cold has come all of a sudden. Very strong. Well, this is how it turned out. I think this bait is mainly for catfish. Worm, belly, and Saturday. Let's see what we catch. All right. I hope that with this, let's look at the very first one. In my case, my friend has gotten 2, but I haven't gotten any yet. Let's get in the water. It's nearly 11 a.m. and fishing is really slow. On the other side, my friend is casting with a PJ. For a change, I cast the bottom line there. With Majara and little Sabalo, I'm not sure what else to use for the small octopus I made with worm. Nothing happened. But look, the day is getting better. The water's running like crazy. Well, it's just a matter of waiting. Look, how is it? Has the iron opened up here? Incredible. The strength of the water is impressive. Well, we've been here for about 4 hours. Third catch for my friend. It's incredible how exhausting fishing is. The wind is blowing the other way. We think that's why there are no bites. The wind is blowing opposite the current. So while I cast with a worm, he was just telling me about it. It could possibly be some kind of catfish. And yes, indeed, the catfish is added to the variety. Catfish, Mancholo, and yellow catfish. Good one. And well, here comes another little bite. Also a little Colombrino. We're freezing from the cold. Look, what a nice manchol. The bite is tough to get, but when it happens, watch. The biggest fish so far, though size isn't always best. Big manchol. All right, there. The worm never fails. One after another, can you say no? It's been less than 5 minutes. Unstoppable. Is the friend here? To add to the variety, Doradillo with paye. Exactly. We were just saying it was strange that they weren't biting because we had a fresh thermos. The float on the surface in a spot with no current, where there's vegetation, and well, that's where the first catch with the float comes in. A little Dorado. There it goes. Good there. Beautiful little Dorado. All right, there goes the little Dorado back into the water. And now in this case, I am going back. I caught a little mancho about half an hour ago, and since then I haven't had another bite. This one has a Saturday belly. It's got a worm. As I said today, the Balway River flows that way. And we have the wind against us. If I'm not mistaken, if anyone knows in more detail, when that happens, it's harder for there to be a catch. But well, it's really strange that in more than 4 hours we've had so little catch, because we've basically used the best bait for the mancholos, for the catfish, with little sabalo, with mohara, with worm, with fresh tungrel. But well, that's how fishing is. At least now things have picked up a bit, and we'll keep waiting to see if we can share a good fish. My friend is catching a tremendous amount. In fact, for today, very little, almost nothing. Look, impressive. Moncholo Amarillo, for you. Awesome. It's the best specimen. Awesome. Well, we had a moment where we weren't sure if the line was snagged, if it was just the lure, or possibly a bite. There's a fish, so mancholas, just what we needed before wrapping up. A good fish. It was the one we were missing. My friend. No, look at that mancholo. We thought it was him with the other fishing rod that had hooked him. No, terrible creature. Moncholo is singing to me. How beautiful. All right, friends. Ricky stayed there fishing. Honestly, he did an amazing job because today, for me in particular, really weak. But anyway, we'll meet again on another fishing trip. I'll be adding this fishing trip and a previous one with Guido, so, well, see you on the third day of fishing. Did they come out? No? All right. First little beads, ideal size. Third shot, look impressive. Abalitos, ideal for the hook. Let's see if this little container can help us for the little live baits. Huh? Similar. Good. Second shot. I'm going to do it with the Korean line chicken gut, which I've already shown you is a very effective technique. My first shot with sabalo. So let's go in search of the agris. Once we catch some nice ones, we'll be cooking and preparing the fried fish here, fresh. In la coda. The first hour of fishing is over, and it's been slow again, like last time. It's likely due to the cold more than anything. So, well, today we have to fish so we can make the fried fish. It's odd we're not catching any abelitos. Let's wait. The last fishing trip was complicated too. The bites were pretty isolated. It was 1 bite, 2, maybe 3 bites every hour. So, well, this season when the cold comes, at first everything slows down. Some made to keep warm while we wait for the bite. As I was telling you, it's been pretty slow so far. Manchurito, a little one with a worm, but we're releasing it because of its size. Well, let's see what Ricky brings in. Like I said, he's been catching a few, but they're pretty small in size. All right, come here, little one. We were fishing with worms, but at the same time, it's the only way to catch something, because I have the other rod with chicken gut. I have another one with little sabalo, and not a single bite. Incredible, but for now, not even a single bite. And look at these little fish, they're very small. Look, here's a small yellow baratito, perfect for today's fry. We already have another Bogas saved there. Well, guys, the wind is making things a bit complicated for us, so let's do the first one. Look at the worms he brought. Ricky Soñata and all that. So, well, since the fish are biting with worms, I'm going to switch. Meanwhile, another yellow one is coming over here. Well, around noon, the bites started to change a little bit. Let's take advantage, once we have some nice ones, to go ahead. To make the fry, we go to the shore and light a fire. Ideal size. Very good. Another yellow one. Let's see. The color's beautiful. Look, beautiful. The size. Well, we're moving to another place. I'll just throw this away, right? Shall we go to the coast part? This equipment that Ricky brought doesn't pick up anything. Scene. Well, I just got down there. Now we have to go along the whole little coast here, which is completely full of mud because it just went down recently. We chose this place because of the firewood, since we were going to go to the other side, to the other field, but it looked like the firewood wasn't going to work. So, well, look, you can see the whole bridge from here. Be very careful with the reeds here. Well, look. Look, three little guys. They must be brothers because they're literally the same size. We're just starting to clean the pan. Well, something. I mean, I've got three. Haha. Thank you very much. Really? All right, folks, we're done fishing. Awesome. Food, we went in there with my friend Ricky, who nailed it again. So, well, I hope you all enjoy the fishing at this place. And in the next few days, we'll see what we can organize again along the coast around here. Thanks for watching and being part of this. See you next time.